If I Were a Rich Man. The story behind this has particular resonance for me because my family left the old country the same time that this story takes place. The story was written by Sholem Aleichem, and it was originally titled Tevye and His Seven Daughters. Well, they changed it when it went on the Broadway stage to Fiddler on the Roof. And so they should have, because being a Jew in that part of the eastern Russia and western Ukraine at the time was kind of a trying to even yourself on the roof, and trying to be a fiddler on the roof is a very difficult job. So here's the story. Tevye has no assets in the world other than his wife and 7 daughters. But he also has a horse, which is lame, and he has a dairy cow. Because the horse is lame, he has to pull the cart through the little streets of Anatevka, a little village called a shtetl in those days, in the Pale of Settlement. And he's poor. Everybody, including my grandparents, who also left at the same time in 1905, were terribly, terribly poor. And Tevye can't understand this, and so he sits with his horse on one side, his dairy cow on the other, and he admonishes the Almighty. And he says, "Dear Lord, you made many, many poor people. I realize, of course, it's no shame being poor, but it's no great honor either. What would be so terrible if I had a small fortune? Yes, if I were a rich man, yabba dabba dibba dibba dabba dabba doo, all day long I'd biddy biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Yada deedle diddle deedle deedle diddle deedle dum. If I were a biddy biddy rich idle deedle diddle deedle man, I'd build a big tall house with rooms by the dozen right in the middle of the town, with a fine tin roof and real wooden floors below. I'd have one long staircase just going up and another even longer coming down, and the third one leading nowhere, just for show. If I were a rich man, yabba dibba dibba dabba dabba deedle deedle dum, all day long I'd biddy biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Yabba dibba 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 do, all day long I'd biddy biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, I'd fill my yard with chicks and ducks and turkeys for the whole town to see and hear, squawking just as noisily as they can, and with every beep and a bok and a bok 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 bok, sounding like a trumpet on the ear, as if to say, "Here lives a wealthy man." If I were a rich man, yabba dibba dibba dabba dabba deeble deeble dum, all day long I'd biddy biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Yabba dibba 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 do. If I were rich, a biddy biddy rich, idle deedle diddle deedle man, I'd have my wife, my Golda, dressed like a rich man's wife with a proper double chin, supervising meals to her heart's delight. She'd be putting on airs and strutting like a peacock. Why, what a happy mood she's in. Screaming at the servants day and night. And then whatever comes next. If the most important men would come to fawn on me, they would ask me to advise them, like a Solomon the Wise. If you please, Reverend Tevye, Pardon me, Rebetevya, crossing problems that would cross a rabbi's eyes. Yadi-da-da, yada-dee-da, yada-dee-da-da-dum. And it won't make a bit of difference if my answers are right or wrong, because when you're rich, they think you really know. If I were a rich man, yabba-dee-ba-dee-ba-dee-ba-dee-ba-dee-ba-dee-ba-dum. If I were rich, I'd have the time that I lack to sit in the synagogue and pray, and have a seat maybe by the eastern wall. I'd study the holy books with the learned men, several hours every day, and that would be the sweetest thing of all. If I were a rich man, yabba dabba dabba deedle deedle dum, all day long I'd biddy biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Yada dee da dee da dee da dee da yada dee da dum. Lord, who made the lion and the lamb, you decreed I should be what I am. Would it spoil some vast eternal plan if I were a wealthy man?